This sign means A. 4-lane traffic ahead. B. Divided highway ahead. C. 2-way traffic ahead. D. Intersection ahead. C. 2-way traffic ahead. This sign warns of 2-way traffic ahead. How can you help prevent rear-end collisions? A. Avoid sudden stops. B. Before stopping, check your mirrors and blind spots for traffic. C. Release the gas pedal and let your vehicle slow before applying the brakes. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Stopping suddenly can make it difficult for drivers behind you to avoid a rear-end collision. When stopping, release the accelerator to allow your vehicle to slow. Press the brake pedal by applying steady pressure, activating your brake lights and causing the vehicle to stop smoothly. The driver ahead of you stops at a crosswalk. What should you do? A. Cautiously pass the vehicle at 10 miles per hour or slower. B. Stop, proceeding only when all the pedestrians have crossed. C. Change lanes, look carefully, and pass the stopped vehicle. A merging lanes sign means drivers should be prepared to change lanes or allow other traffic to come into their lane. A. True. B. False. A. True. A merging lanes sign indicates that two lanes of traffic going the same direction will soon merge into one lane. Drivers should be ready to either change lanes or allow other traffic to merge into their lane.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
This sign means A. Yield the right of way. B. No passing zone. C. Reduction in lanes. A. Yield the right of way. A triangular red and white sign indicates that you must yield the right of way. Before returning to your original lane after passing another vehicle, you should A. Beep your horn. B. See both headlights of the passed vehicle in your rearview mirror. C. Flash your headlights. B. See both headlights of the passed vehicle in your rearview mirror. When passing is permitted, look for both headlights of the passed vehicle in your rearview mirror. Only then may you safely return to your original lane. To avoid hydroplaning while driving in rainy conditions, you should A. Drive at a speed appropriate for ideal conditions. B. Apply your brakes as soon as your car starts to skid. C. Slow down. C. Slow down. When driving too quickly in wet conditions, your tires may lose all contact with the road surface. Loss of traction will cause the vehicle to ride on top of the water, which is called hydroplaning. The best way to prevent this from happening is to drive more slowly in rainy or wet conditions than you would when driving during ideal weather conditions. When approaching a steady green traffic light, drivers should A. Continue driving, unless there are vehicles or pedestrians already in the intersection. B. Stop if a police officer is nearby. C. Treat the intersection like a four-way stop. D. Come to a complete stop before proceeding. A. Continue driving, unless there are vehicles or pedestrians already in the intersection. When approaching an intersection with a steady green traffic light, yield to pedestrians in the crosswalk and vehicles still in the intersection. You may continue driving, but should approach the intersection at a speed that will allow you to slow down and stop if the light changes before you get there. This road sign means A. Flagger ahead. B. Turn left at the intersection. C. Last turn before a toll road. A. Flagger ahead. Orange is the standard color for work zone activity. If you see orange signs, cones, or barrels while driving, stay alert and be prepared for unexpected driving conditions. This sign alerts drivers to an upcoming flagger whose directions should be obeyed by all drivers. Alcohol. A. Slows reflexes and reaction time. B. Puts you to sleep. C. Wakes you up. D. Improves your judgment. A. Slows reflexes and reaction time. Alcohol is a depressant drug that slows the activity of the brain and reduces the skills that you need for safe driving. Drinking alcohol results in slowed reaction time and impaired judgment. To improve visibility lowered by rain or fog, drivers should use their A. Low beam headlights. B. High beam headlights. C. Parking lights. A. Low beam headlights. Low beam headlights should be used when driving in rainy or foggy weather. Even if they do little to help you see, low beams will make it easier for others to see you. You may legally block an intersection. A. If you entered the intersection on the green light. B. During rush hour traffic. C. Under no circumstances. C. Under no circumstances. Even if the light is green, you may not enter an intersection unless you can get completely across before the light turns red. If you block the intersection, you can be cited. Which of the following blocks the smooth flow of traffic? A. Slowing down to look at collision scene. B. Avoiding unnecessary lane changes. C. Using public transportation instead of your vehicle. A. Slowing down to look at collision scene. Rubbernecking, the practice of slowing down to look at collisions or other out-of-the-ordinary things, contributes to traffic congestion and should be avoided. What is the only medically proven method of removing alcohol or other drug combinations from your system? A. Breathe in some fresh air. B. Give your body time. C. Drink coffee. B. Give your body time. Alcohol takes effect quickly and is slow to leave your system. Cold showers, black coffee, and exercise will do nothing to reduce a person's blood alcohol content, BAC. The only way to lower your BAC is to wait. An inattentive driver is a driver who A. Stares at objects off the roadway or daydreams while driving. B. Maintains eye contact during a conversation with a passenger while driving. C. Only watches the vehicle ahead of their vehicle. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Do not become distracted by looking at passengers, attempting to find something in your vehicle, looking at reading material, sightseeing, or daydreaming while driving. Continue scanning the road, checking your mirrors, and looking at the instrument panel at regular intervals. Developing these safe habits will keep you attentive as a driver. If it feels like your tires have lost contact with the surface of the road, you should A. Slow down by shifting into a lower gear. B. Ease your foot off the gas pedal. C. Slow down by pumping the brakes quickly and firmly. B. Ease your foot off the gas pedal. If it feels like your tires have lost contact with the surface of the road, you should ease your foot off the gas pedal and stay off the brakes. Do not try to stop or turn until your tires are gripping the road again. A red and white triangular sign at an intersection means A. Slow down if an emergency vehicle is approaching. B. Look both ways as you cross the intersection. C. Always come to a full stop at the intersection. D. Slow down and be prepared to stop if necessary. D. Slow down and be prepared to stop if necessary. A triangular red and white yield sign means that you must decrease speed as you approach an intersection and yield the right of way to any vehicles or pedestrians in the intersection. You must be prepared to stop if conditions require it. Temporary signs used in construction and maintenance work areas. A. Have a red background with green writing. B. Have an orange background with black writing. C. Have a yellow background with blue writing. B. Have an orange background with black writing. All temporary signs in work zones have orange backgrounds with black writing and/or symbols. This road sign means A. School crossing. B. Pedestrian crossing. C. Jogging trail. D. Busy sidewalk. B. Pedestrian crossing. This sign indicates the presence of a pedestrian crossing. You should watch for people entering a crosswalk or crossing your path. Slow down and be prepared to stop. Interstate driving requires drivers to A. Have the ability to safely drive at increased speeds. B. Be constantly alert. C. Both of the above. C. Both of the above. Safe use of the interstate demands drivers be constantly alert and capable of driving at high speeds. This sign means A. Divided highway ahead. B. Right lane ends ahead. C. Watch for vehicles entering from the side. A. Divided highway ahead. This sign directs traffic to the right of an island or barrier. The road ahead is divided. If a green arrow turns into a solid green light, you A. May still turn, but you must yield to oncoming traffic. B. May no longer turn and must proceed straight. C. Still have the right of way to turn. D. No longer have to turn in the direction that the arrow indicated. A. May still turn, but you must yield to oncoming traffic. If a green arrow turns into a solid green light, you may still turn in the direction that the arrow was pointing, but you must first yield to pedestrians and oncoming traffic. To turn left from a multi-lane one-way street onto a one-way street, you should start your turn from A. Any lane, as long as it is safe. B. The lane closest to the left curb. C. The lane in the center of the road. B. The lane closest to the left curb. When turning left from a one-way street onto another one-way street, you should begin the turn from the far left lane. You are driving on a divided multi-lane highway and see or hear the signal of an approaching emergency vehicle. You should A. Disregard the signal if there are other lanes available for the emergency vehicle. B. Stop as quickly as you can. C. Slow down, move your vehicle to provide a clear path for the emergency vehicle, and stop. D. Increase your speed to get out of the way of the emergency vehicle. C. Slow down, move your vehicle to provide a clear path for the emergency vehicle, and stop. If you hear the siren or see the flashing lights of an emergency vehicle, you must slow down, provide a clear path for the vehicle, and stop. Don't try to outdrive the emergency vehicle. A driver should be extra alert to motorcyclists, bicyclists, and pedestrians because A. They're difficult to see in traffic. B. They obey different traffic laws than larger motor vehicles. C. They always have the right of way. D. They don't have rear-view mirrors. A. They're difficult to see in traffic. In many collisions with motorcycles, bicycles, and pedestrians, drivers reported that they were looking but still did not see the smaller vehicle or pedestrian. These can be more difficult to spot in traffic than passenger vehicles because they are smaller, may move faster, and have less noticeable lighting. To prevent collisions with these smaller and less protected road users, drivers should always be alert to the presence of motorcycles, bikes, and pedestrians. This sign means A. Cars on the right move first. B. You have the right of way. C. Let cross traffic pass before proceeding. C. Let cross traffic pass before proceeding. When approaching this sign, you must yield the right of way. Slow down and let vehicles and pedestrians crossing your path pass before you proceed. If necessary, stop before going ahead. This sign means A. Railroad ahead. B. No passing zone. C. School zone. A. Railroad ahead. A round yellow sign indicates that there is a railroad crossing ahead. You may continue carefully through an intersection with a yellow light if A. There is an emergency vehicle crossing your lane. B. There are pedestrians crossing. C. You are turning right. D. You are already within the intersection when the light changes to yellow. D. You are already within the intersection when the light changes to yellow. If a steady yellow light appears when you are already within an intersection, you should continue through the intersection carefully. On a multi-lane road, a dashed yellow line next to a solid yellow line means A. Passing is prohibited from both directions. B. Passing is permitted from both directions. C. Passing is permitted only from the direction next to the dashed line. C. Passing is permitted only from the direction next to the dashed line. Where there are both solid and dashed yellow lines between lanes of traffic, only traffic directly next to the dashed line may cross the centerline to pass. Drivers next to the solid line may not pass. This road sign means A. You are about to enter a one-way street from the wrong direction. B. U-turns are prohibited. C. You may proceed if the way is clear. A. You are about to enter a one-way street from the wrong direction. This sign marks a one-way road, entrance, or exit. If you are facing this sign, traffic is coming toward you. Turn around if you are driving toward this sign. while driving on a roadway with a single broken white centerline. A. You must stay within your lane. B. You may cross the centerline to change lanes. C. You may change lanes only from the left lane. B. You may cross the centerline to change lanes. White lines between lanes indicate that the lanes are traveling in the same direction. Broken white line markings indicate that it is legal to pass another vehicle when safe. This sign means A. Keep right. B. Low shoulder. C. No parking at any time. D. Lane ends. A. Keep right. Regulation signs regulate traffic speed and movement, displaying rules which drivers must obey. This regulation sign indicates that drivers should keep right to avoid an upcoming potential driving hazard. This sign means A. Highway changes ahead and to the right. B. Hiking trails ahead and to the right. C. Hotel ahead and to the right. D. Hospital ahead and to the right. D. Hospital ahead and to the right. This sign indicates that hospital emergency services are located to the right. When driving in work zones, you should A. Follow the driver in front of you closely. B. Pass the driver in front of you as soon as you can. C. Avoid tailgating and keep a safe following distance. C. Avoid tailgating and keep a safe following distance. When driving in a work zone, keep a safe distance between your vehicle and traffic barriers, trucks, construction equipment, workers, and other vehicles. Increase your following distance and do not tailgate. When driving in fog, you should use your A. Low beam headlights. B. High beam headlights. C. Parking lights. D. Hazard flashers. A. Low beam headlights. If you must drive in foggy conditions, you should use your low beam headlights, as well as your fog lights, if your vehicle has them. High beams direct their light upwards, where it can bounce off the fog and into your eyes, reducing visibility even more.